Hey everybody, how y'all doing? First I want to say welcome to Winning with Trump. Thank you for watching, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. And I want to say I love my country, I love my president, I love my police officers, I love my military, and I love all the patriots that love our president like I do. Okay, what is up with Joey not wanting to do debates with Donald Trump? I know that's very clear to most of us, but he knows that he will get creamed if he does a debate with Donald Trump, and he is scared. And the demon rats are scared for him, and they should be, because he won't even come out of his basement. And when he does come out of his basement, he makes no sense at all. Wow. Yeah, but it's very clear. Very clear. And what is up with them wanting mail-in ballots? We know what's up with them wanting mail-in ballots. They want to do it so they can cheat, because that's the only way they can win the election. They think they can win the election. But we have to fight against that. Everybody has to get out there and vote. Everybody has to get out there and vote. And look what Nevada did. In the middle of the night, Sunday night, they passed this, whatever it's called, so that they can do mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting. I touched on that on one of my other videos. And mail-in ballots are not like absentee ballots. Absentee ballots are where they verify who you are, they get a signature, and they know who's doing the absentee ballot. That's completely different than mail-in ballots or ballot harvesting. And that's been a long time tradition. There's for years and years and years, there's been absentee ballot, like what President Trump does. Because of course, he's a Florida citizen, resident, so he has to do an absentee ballot from the White House. That is totally acceptable. He's not saying we can't do that. But what he is saying is there's no mail-in ballots because there's all kinds of fraud that will go on with it. There's already been 9 demon rats that have been arrested for voter fraud. Can you imagine how many more there might be? Yeah, I mean, and there's no verification at all when there's mail-in ballots or ballot harvesting. Ballot harvesting being where anybody can pick up the ballots. As an example, somebody can go to a retirement home and tell them, hey, I'm just here to pick up your ballot, and fill it out any way they want to and turn it in. And that doesn't seem like many, but there can be tons and tons and tons of that. And those do add up. You know, and if we can put our mask on and go to Walmart and Kroger and everywhere else, we can put our mask on and stand in line to vote. That's the way it should be done, with voter ID, where you can show exactly who you are and that you're only voting one time. That's the way it ought to go. Should never be allowed. There's no good reason for it. No good reason for mail-in ballots or ballot harvesting. You know, and the reason they're pushing it is because they need to cheat. Of course, they always need to cheat. That's the only way they win anything. I can't imagine anybody in their right mind voting for a demon rat. You know, they're un-American is what they are. They're just totally un-American. And President Trump, as far as Nevada goes, let me see what he said. He is suing Nevada. The RNC announced yesterday that they have set up a lawsuit suing them to stop them from this radical election abuse in Nevada. I mean, there's no way. President Trump tweeted, Nevada has no infrastructure for mail-in voting. It would be a corrupt disaster. If not ended by the courts, it will take months, maybe years to figure out the vote. Florida has built a great infrastructure over years with 2 great Republican governors Florida, send in your ballots. Yes, because when it's legal, it's okay. And when it's set up right, it's okay. You know. But here we go with the deep state again and all their shenanigans. The deep state and the mainstream media, FISA, warrant, cover-up, spying, treason, crimes against humanity is imploding. Thank goodness. The Senate is starting to call in people and questioning them under oath. Sally Yates was questioned yesterday, and she is throwing the FBI under the bus. Of course, she's saying she did nothing wrong. I'm sure that's going to be the way they all do. I'm sure they're going to throw each other under the bus and say that none of them did anything wrong, that the other person did it. You know, they're going to blame this on each other, you know. And say, well, it wasn't my job and all that. You know, what the hell? When is somebody going to be held accountable for all this crap? This is crazy. But this is the beginning of the show. Enjoy the show, because it's all getting ready to come down. I know everybody keeps saying that, but I believe that it really is. You know, because we've got them backed into a corner now, you know. But we all know what they did, and we have the documentation and the paper trail. Now, when we've known what they've done, but now we can prove it. And since they are all under oath, we know, since they are all under oath, excuse me, sorry, I can't talk, then we're going to know the truth from a lie. You know, maybe they'll lie, who knows, you know. But a lot of this information is going to come out. A lot of it's going to come out. You know, so what are they doing right now? They are having them testify. They are going to catch them in all their own lies, and all the protection they have been getting from the mainstream media and the intelligence agency is over. They don't have any of that anymore. It is showtime. Hopefully there'll be breaking news on this very, very, very soon. That people are in jail, all 9 yards. You know. Also, on another note, the D.C. Courts of Appeals for General Flynn requested that parties be prepared to address the oral argument. They are talking about having the judge disqualified, which he needs to be disqualified. You know, whether Judge Sullivan should disqualify himself for impartiality. Also, Sullivan should disqualify himself as being a party to the proceeding. Now, I don't know what's up with this judge. They must have all kinds of blackmail on him, something, you know. But they're talking about having the judge disqualified. You know, why is Sullivan so dug in on this? Like I said, because they probably have all kinds of crap on him. You know, what's his motive? And, I mean, now that, I mean, the DOJ dropped the case. There's not even a case against General Flynn. You know, he isn't pleading guilty anymore. There isn't even a prosecutor. The prosecutor was the Department of Justice, and they dropped the case. You know, and actually all the evidence is showing that he's innocent. You know, and what about the 302? I bet that 302, which is the original paper from where they did the original interview, I bet that thing shows up. Just magically, I bet it shows up. And also yesterday, Sally Yates, during her testimony, threw James Comey under the bus. Under the bus. She said under oath that she never authorized a counterintelligence investigation on General Flynn, that Comey had gone rogue. Wow, that's a big statement. When Comey was doing an interview, he said, yes, I sent Peter Strzok and another agent to the White House on January 24, 2017 to ambush General Flynn without his lawyers being present. And he bragged about it on tape and in public, saying, yeah, I did that, you know, because they were thinking that none of them would get caught. They were thinking that, you know, I don't know why they do it, because, I mean, at that point, President Trump had already been elected and had already taken office. So I guess they thought they could cover it up good enough and all these people would continue lying. You know, it's crazy. But it's all coming back to bite them in the bottom, big time, and I'm so glad. They deserve it. All of them committed treason, and that, I mean, to me, that's as bad as you can get, you know. We have all the documents, we have all the paperwork, all the paper trails, and all the signatures to whoever authorized all this stuff. You know, and have all the paperwork, all this stuff. And Sally Yates said yesterday, she was talking about the FISA warrants. She testified before that she didn't read them and she just signed them, but she testified yesterday that she did read them and signed them. Well, it doesn't matter. There's no excuse for that. She signed them, and she is Jim Comey's boss. Why wouldn't she go to Jim Comey and say, what's up with this? Why don't I know all this information? And why does Obama know this information and I don't know it? You know, I don't believe she didn't know it. I think she knew it, you know. But all they're doing is playing games. That's all they're doing is playing games. And it was also said that President Trump tweeted yesterday that Sally Yates has zero credibility. She was a part of the greatest political crime of the century. And Obama Biden knew everything. Sally Yates leaked the General Flynn conversation and asked her under oath, Republicans should start playing the game that the demon rats play. And that's exactly what needs to happen. She needs to be asked all these questions under oath, period, and see what she says then. You know, because others have been prosecuted for lying. General Flynn, and the reason he lied is because they said they would go after his son. Who wouldn't do that? I know I would do it. You know, but we know the truth regardless. And hopefully all this information is going to start coming out. You know, what about the Ukraine raids on certain businesses that are tied to Biden? Imagine that. And where's Hunter? I guess he's in his basement too. You know, Joe's still hiding in his basement. You know, he needs to be prosecuted for high crimes and treason. And he is quid pro quo Joe. Period. It's on tape. You know, it's on tape. He bragged about that too. You know, what's up with these people? They think it's great to do what they're doing. You know? I don't know. What a joke. What a joke. He's not qualified to run for president, much less be president. Man, I can't imagine anybody voting for him. And I talked to a couple of my friends yesterday, and they talked about how they don't like Trump and they're voting for Biden, and they have no real answer why. And I'm like, that's crazy. That is crazy, you know. But, you know, lots of different people have been out there collecting all kinds of evidence, you know, indisputable evidence against them, so there will be no denying what they've done. You know, once President Trump has all these documents, and I'm sure we probably already have them, they're going down. You know, they just, you know, all these demon rats thought they would always be in control, and, you know, they always think they can control things. You know, and they continue to think they control things. Well, guess what? They're not in control. President Trump and all of us are, and they are busted, and they're going down. You know, they've done some bad, evil things, you know, but that's why up until the past few years, they were out bragging about everything they've done and not worrying about it. I don't know why they think they're not in trouble, you know, basically putting it in our faces. So, you know, I want perp walks, like CNN did with Roger Stone. I want perp walks once all these people are arrested. And I want them to be held accountable and get the time that they deserve. You know, Comey bragging about sending Strzok and another agent, he thought that was great, laughing about it. You know, Biden bragging about, you know, the quid pro quo and, you know, all that stuff. You know, but now it's a perfect storm. Everything is coming together, and they're going to be prosecuted. There's no doubt in my mind. All the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. You know, Fox News talked about today, this is awesome. request a conversation testimony by Julian Assange in the case brought by the family of Seth Rich. Seth Rich, it was, an order was signed by the U.S. judge yesterday. So Julian Assange is going to be asked to answer questions of his involvement and his knowledge of Seth Rich's involvement in the DNC email leaks. And remember, Seth Rich was the one that was murdered. He had 2 bullets in his back. I wonder by who. What will Julian say, do y'all think? I hope he tells it all. I hope he's the one that can open the floodgates and let all this information out. Gosh, I sure hope he does. And I hope they have a huge security detail for him, because I honestly think that his safety will be in jeopardy. There's too many people that were involved in those emails that don't want him to be able to talk. They do not want him to be able to talk. I hope that he gets to talk, and I hope nothing happens to him. But I'm sure the majority of those emails have damning evidence against the Clintons. And you know what happens when you have bad information about the Clintons. You disappear. You don't disappear, you end up dead or commit suicide or in a plane crash or a car wreck. They know 58 people that have been involved in plane crashes and car wrecks and suicides, and nobody knows that. I don't even know one. Nobody knows that many people. And stuff's starting to fall out now, like the release of her testimony, that was released, and lots of other people's testimonies are being released. The Ukraine raids, the Senate questioning all those people under oath. Julian Assange is going to testify about Seth Rich. I hope all that comes out. The deep state is panicking, and they should be. And when they panic, that they've been panicking for a while, and that's why the China virus came about, the riots, the impeachment, everything else that's happening is because of them, because they're panicking. They're like little children, and they pitch a fit, because somebody else is in charge, not them, and they can't make their own decisions, and they can't freely do the evil things they've been doing, and there's nothing they can do about it, and nothing can stop what is coming. That's why they're pushing for the mail-in voting, support the riot, support BLM, support Antifa, created a pandemic. If they didn't create it, they certainly used it while it came here, and the big thing they've done is create fear, and that is just sick to me. They've made the American, I've not been afraid because I know the truth, but they've made the American people afraid, and they feel like when you put people in fear, you can control them. They've lied about President Trump mishandling this CV-19, which he did not. He did everything perfect. He closed the borders, he closed flights, even when the left were saying that he was racist, and, ridiculous stuff. He has handled it in an unprecedented manner. The truth be known, the people that have handled this wrong are the Democrats. And if you look in all these cities that are totally out of control, it's because the demon rats are in charge. And they have not served their people well. I feel bad for the people that live in their cities and in their states, because they don't care about their people. They only care about what they care about. And they've done them a big disservice. They have not served them well at all, and they need to be voted out. They should have never been in there to begin with. These people are crazy. And it's only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to get worse. But it will get better once all this is taken care of. This has been going on for years. And hopefully all the indictments, there's supposedly like 169,000 indictments, sealed indictments. Hopefully those will get unsealed soon and arrests will start to be made. There's been a lot of hard work put behind this, and a lot of people's safety put in jeopardy just to get these evil doers put away, and they need to be put away, And this is the most awesome president America has ever had. We have to get him reelected. There's no other choice. I love President Trump, and I want him for 4 more years. I wish we could have him for a whole lot longer, but we need him for 4 more years. He's doing big things for this country, and he loves this country, and he loves us. Trump has to win by a landslide in November. Trump 2020 by a landslide. And President Trump said yesterday that that he saw Durham's report, and it is breathtaking what they found. Beyond what anybody even thought possible, how bad it is and how corrupt it is. It's a horrible thing that took place and should never be allowed to happen to another president. When President Trump speaks about something, there's facts behind it. He doesn't just speak just to speak. So we know, even if the news outlet says that's a lie, that's not happening, we know it's happening. If President Trump talks on it, there's something behind it. So, hopefully, some of this stuff will come out before the election. But, I believe with all my heart that he's working hard behind the scenes, doing stuff. We have no idea what he's doing. All the sex trafficking and the adrenochrome and the killing of the children and the torturing of the children and drug trafficking and child pornography, and it goes on and on and on. It's darker than any of us could ever have imagined. But President Trump is going to take care of it for us. I have no doubt. And I love President Trump, and I'm working and doing everything I can to get him reelected. Y'all do the same. Talk to everybody and tell them how awesome President Trump is. Thank you, and I hope y'all have an awesome night. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And leave comments to let me know how I can improve.